A Michigan state lawmaker concocted a false smear campaign against himself in an effort to draw attention away from an extramarital affair he was having with a congresswoman, the Detroit News reported Friday. The newspaper cited audio recordings taken by an aide, in which Representative Todd Courser is allegedly heard laying out the plans for the smear campaign.
Take a look at this. An uncredited photo of Courser giving Gamrat a foot rub in broad daylight while parked at a Lansing strip mall. The photo is posted online after a nameless paparazzo delivers it to controversial political blogger Brendan Hall.
It was just like, wow. You know, I mean, what is my representative doing right now in Lansing? You know, they probably think they're in their office or, you know, voting. And here they are in a parking lot giving each other foot rubs.
That Radisson. It turns out that Courser and Gamrat really are more than political bedfellows.
It's your typical secret double life. They're putting themselves out there as these right-wing Christians, but they're fornicating behind the scenes.
Out of the blue, both Gamrat and Courser start receiving a series of text messages threatening to expose their affair from an anonymous, disposable burner phone.
I'm going to start a rumor that I'm having sex with gay prostitutes all over Lansing. That's just going to make the affair with Sid seem like nothing.
Courser's hope is that the phony smear will somehow thwart the extortion scheme of the mysterious texter by diverting attention from the affair.
He was accused of child molestation. He's done things that should have him in jail. He doesn't work in Lansing. He's just there feeding his habit of alcohol, drugs, and illicit sex. Most days he is high stoned on drugs and alcohol while he is supposed to be voting. In between, he is seduced and taking advantage of Rep. Gamrat between votes. The people deserve to know the real reason she was thrown out by the speaker is because she wouldn't stop being Courser's toy in caucus. She shouldn't have been trusted as state representative or national committee woman. She's a tramp, a lie, and a lap for this bisexual monster.
The idea was reportedly to draw attention from an affair Courser was having with Representative Cindy Gamrat. Both are married. According to the audio recording, the false rumor was intended to be spread via email and create a complete smear campaign of false claims about him and Gamrat, so a public revelation about the legislators' relationship would seem mild by comparison.
Following an extramarital affair, 2 Michigan lawmakers are out of office. The former representatives Cindy Gamrat and Todd Courser are both Republicans and members of the Tea Party. The pair apologized for their actions during a special House committee hearing held earlier this week. Initially, they were censored, allowing them to remain in office. However, after testimony from their staff members, the legislature moved forward with removing them from office.
Welcome to Political Fiction Theater, another episode. 2 Michigan legislators, Todd Courser and Cindy Gamrat, apparently had an affair. You kind of saw a clip prior to this.
Well, it might be appropriate at this time to reveal why we call this political fiction theater. Because you just don't want to believe this is real.
This is probably one of the better ones. We actually took a little time to actually break this down because
this is a fast train to Crazy Town here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys want to start this out? I don't even know where to start with this one.
Oh God! I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in the sensationalism of what's going on here to actually get down to the essence of it. I mean, you got to go through a whole bunch of stuff to filter through it and see what actually there is to discuss here. And what it boils down to is these people had an affair. And then they of course were hiding the affair. Then they tried to come up with he did anyway, come up with an elaborate cover-up scheme, which was itself discovered. And so, you know, I mean, you've got the fact that they were presenting themselves as very moral people, doing something that is completely immoral within the teachings of their philosophy or their belief or religion, and then lying about it in a very bizarre way. So it just goes to show that they're completely untrustworthy.
Here's the thing that gets me. Almost like they walk through as a victim the whole time. You know, we're a victim of this.
Oh,
and I see that in politics.
Somebody's out there telling the truth about us, and we got to find out who it is and destroy them.
I mean, exactly. And I'm kind of shocked. I mean, it just continues. This never stops. I mean, I think one of it when they went and tried to win their election of their seat back.
Oh, yeah, after they had resigned and been
mean,
expelled, and then they run for office again.
You're on national television. 2020 does an episode on you, and you honestly believe that they still want you? I mean, wow.
I think a part of this conversation have to be geared towards the Tea Party and how people that's in the Tea Party feel that morally they're right, and in this case it seemed like, I guess the persona of Todd was that kind of got me. No matter what was in front of him, it seemed that he really felt that he wasn't doing no wrong.
Well, there's a part of Christianity is asking for and receiving forgiveness. So he feels probably that no matter what he does, if he asks for forgiveness, he will receive it. And therefore, he'll be able to move on and beyond this.
But again, we go back, and I have this conversation with people. A true Christian, it isn't when you believe in Christianity, you follow the Christian faith. It's not a do anything you want. It's like open the door and do what you want, and then go back and ask for forgiveness. You don't do those things because you believe in the Christianity part of it. I think what you've got is sociopaths. Narcissist.
Definitely narcissistic, yeah.
I think there's way more going on here, upstairs in these people. And again, one of the things is the people that follow, that put them in office. I mean, they had this idea that, one of the things that I don't know if I brought it up here, but and I may bring it into this, he talks about when he's talking to his aide about, you're destroying me and we're going to have this email written about me having all the illicit sex with a male prostitute. He says, I need to inoculate the herd. Now, when I went through all this stuff, I never saw any of these
inoculate
the herd, meaning my followers need to be, they need to be
his followers.
That's his followers, and that's a terminology he used. Inoculate the herd. And I'll pop it in. I'll just pop it in here at some point. But but that was never brought up in any of these newspaper articles, and they kind of skimmed over that. Well, it's so sensational, that the affair and the sex and the cover up and all that.
One of the core things that's involved here, in my estimation, is that they used their declared beliefs as a springboard for legislation. In other words, they wanted to pass laws and impose a moral standard on the public in general. And it's a standard that they were just like woefully unable to comply with.
Correct.
Right.
Completely unable.
But this is a good example of why we shouldn't be mixing politics and religion.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I believe somewhere along the line, kind of piggyback off what you said, he asked for forgiveness. He said a prayer, and automatically he felt that his slate had been made clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing that kind of I looked at throughout this whole episode scenario, is that it seemed like Cindy, she was just there, going along. I really wonder how involved she was in this whole plot. I think
she was just grooving on the foot rubs, you think?
Yeah, I think the relationship pulled her along. I think he was the really mastermind of what he believed,
Yeah, that's that mastermind. I think that's a...
The snake made me do it, right?
Yeah.
I think there was Satan in it. He brought it was demonic. Demonic powers were at work. Yeah. So, exactly. Religion and politics together. We can go into this thing into a deep, deep area, but somewhere along the line, the Republicans, the Tea Party decided that God is with them. This is, and of course we all know it's BS, but they've been able to attract a certain segment of the population to actually believe in this. And of course you've got news media, which is just drills it in, and that's some of the stuff we talk about once in a while. But
there are people who aspire to and actually comply with those moral standards.
Correct.
In Christian teaching, and they think everybody should, which is really, that's the definition of a bigot. If you are convinced that your beliefs are correct and right and anyone else's are wrong, that is what a bigot is.
Yeah.
Now, to have those beliefs, violate those beliefs, and still want to impose them on others, that's bigotry with hypocrisy. And that's hard for the public to swallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is. I mean, even the people who support them and say, yes, I believe in the same moral principles that you do, the fact that they failed so completely and still want to impose it on everybody else, that's just too much for people to swallow.
Yeah. Well, on this one, definitely the sheets got pulled back, and we're looking at it raw. Part of it is the mentality that I can continue to move forward. One of the other things that I thought was kind of interesting was the aide. Now, they knew about. He obviously was in the office. He heard this conversation they had. Now, these guys come across like, and now they did file suit. I don't know if you know that they filed suit because they were fired.
The aides did?
The aides did, unjustly. But they knew this in May. Now, it really didn't break until August. So they knew what was going on. But again, now it's as outlandish as it is.
Yeah.
They basically said, you got to remember, this is the breeding ground for the next legislators are on these aides and different things.
Well, they're just kids, and I mean they're working for somebody that they hold in high esteem.
Yeah, but there's a method to. There's a reason they're there in the first place. I mean, they're in political.
Yeah, but I mean that's a big transition to make, to go from highly respecting somebody and revering them to realizing that they're a complete failure morally.
Yeah.
And to actually blow the whistle on.
I mean, don't you know that?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, if you're a kid, you're like, oh, geez, I just want to ignore this and hope that it goes away. That's something.
Well, and in a way now they are prostitutes too, because many aides.
The aides are, you mean?
Yeah. They look at this as their first step to try to in government.
Yeah.
And they look at a political career, so. They go. What they said, they go along to get along. Something about where you to fit in.
Right.
And they are not naive by no means.
Just so the camera knows, I got my hands underneath the table here, but I'm scratching the dog's ears. Little West Island White Terrier down there.
We got to let her join the group.
Probably go, hey, we should run him for that. We should run him for legislator.
But I was looking at the two aides, and look at the time span. That meant to a great degree that they're going along with it.
Absolutely, they were going along with it.
Until they got fired.
A few months, yeah.
Right, and then they got fired, and it's like, ooh, now I am out, and whoa, no, I'm going down, you're going down.
Yeah, no, this has been a violation of my morals.
Right, exactly. It's funny how their morals fit in.
Now you violated my morals.
But the two, Todd and Sydney, they never looked at it when they was having their affair. You got to realize when they was having their affair, they was still preaching from the far right.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And they was probably passing legislation that
was consistent with their beliefs that would impose those beliefs on the general public.
Right. Although they were violating it completely, obviously, by their relationship or their escapades.
Well, it hasn't been made absolutely clear, but it's pretty strongly implicated that her husband is the one who actually blew the whistle, the one who started sending text messages to Todd.
Duh.
Yeah.
He would probably might have been, even before she got in a relationship, he had grown paranoid. He was following her. He probably knew about the affair.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time.
Listen, guys, I'm just saying, I'm looking at her thinking, man, she just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, she's going to be this powerful woman that's going to, this is the way things are. And I'm sure she ran that household like that. There may not have been a very good marriage here in the first place. He was the high school sweetheart. But let's face it, she's walking out of a hotel room. He finds it. Oh, gee whiz, look what's going on. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? They act like this guy's some beast. He is not a beast. He sent some text. Actually, I think he did it actually fairly well without really creating a major.
Yeah, he certainly gave him an opportunity to end it.
Right. And she makes it sound like, he's stalking me. Hell, stalking me? You're sleeping in some guy's bed for crying out loud.
Stalking me.
What?
When I was diddling a co-legislator.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
How dare he?
That's what I mean.
The victim.
Yeah, this victim thing, and that's what.
And that's a characteristic of narcissism.
Absolutely.
No question.
Yeah.
Was it both of them?
Both of them what? Narcissistic? Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not a psychologist, but I've read enough about narcissism to say, yeah, these guys fit the bill.
But I just couldn't get over Todd's lackadaisy attitude. I mean, even up to the end, it seemed like it was no big deal to him.
Yeah. I mean, what a violation of the relationship that both of them had, though.
Yeah. Plus the public trust.
Yeah, and it begs the question: is the moral values that they live within, the moral context that they live within, in any way contributory to the fact that their marriages were bad? Yeah. I mean, should they have even been married? I mean, was like getting married something that was like expected of them?
Yeah,
and I mean. You don't have sex outside of marriage, and you're young and you're vital and so on and so forth. That's a very urgent calling, and you look for a mate. And there's a lot that coerces a lot of people into relationships that are doomed to failure.
Is there anything to talk about where they are now in their lives?
Yeah, they're both on radio shows. They're on talk shows.
They are.
Yeah. You didn't see that part?
I didn't get a chance to get that far.
Oh yeah. And they're working for the same radio station, I believe. Mm-hmm. And she says, "I am honored to be given this opportunity to give the inside scoop on how our elected officials are impacting our lives, what they are trying to hide, and what we can do to hold them accountable."
This is the same thing that she went.
That's how she was elected, saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
But you know what? I was reading some of the blogs, and I'm reading them, and they're saying, "Good for you," and keep going, and fight the good fight. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
she really turned her life around.
But that
makes about black kids. He's not. You know what I'm saying?
That makes you wonder. I was listening at Family Feud.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions was how much do you trust your elected official?
Oh,
and they asked
I thought you were going to say spouse.
Yeah. I'm thinking, man, this is a Family Feud.
It was one of those 1 to 10.
Yeah.
What do you get, 3?
Every one of them was 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And number one answer was 1.
Yeah.
We got to the Family Feud level, all right?
Yeah. I mean, people just don't have that trust no more. And looking at this is probably not even the extreme. I mean, look at what's the wiener or
wiener.
Wiener,
a hot dog or whatever.
Yeah.
He was shooting his hot dog around.
Kielbasa.
Look at that situation. I mean, it has certain similarities. Look what he was doing as an elected official. You look at his position and the positions that he believed in as a political figure,
mm-hmm.
and look at what he was doing as a individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
do as I say, not as I do.
Well, the day of
preachers.
Yeah. I mean, we really have hit a we've hit a
or your mom and
wall.
dad when you want a sip of beer.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
And what's the first thing you do when you're old enough? You go out and get some beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said before, you clamp that lid down too tight, man, and it just
creates
a lot of interest in what's on and going on inside the stew pot.
Yeah.
But this seemed to me, I think we did maybe 10 of these now. This seemed to be the one that, I can kind of grasp and understand.
It's kind of the most blatant one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Because they're unrepentant. I mean, they come in and they apologize and so on and so forth, but really they're pretty unrepentant. I mean, now they're talking about they still want to tell people how to live.
Yeah.
Right.
And right after the incident, when they was kicked out of the Capitol, I guess,
Legislature.
Yeah. Want to run again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they was.
I've got experience
vote,
with corruption now. You want to vote for me?
Yeah, and the voters denounced him, and now here we are again. They still believe morally they are right in what they believe in, and they have pretty much shown that they are not the one.
Do you think
that need to be sending that message?
Yeah, exactly. Not just that they're right, but they're the ones that should carry the message forward. They're the ones that should tell other people.
Do you think
how
at
to
some point that the voters are kind of waking up to this, that, we're going to morally set the compass straight? And I realize there's
no.
No, I think they're waking up, but they're waking up drunk.
Boy, hangover. It's like, dang, that was a bad night. That can't be for real.
Look at. But the national press, they did a story on it, but to me, this would make a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can see the guy.
Actually, yeah.
I can see the one husband,
skirting around, trying to keep surveillance on her. I can see the Tea Party supporters, come on, Sydney, we're going to protect you. And
it's not as impactful as Watergate, but man, it's got a lot of mystery and intrigue in it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, this is good. And how many times have we brought this up and said it couldn't get any weirder? Well, it seems like every week we get something new.
Yeah.
So
I'm a little bit scared about next week. It keeps getting weirder.
Like I always say, we get Frankenstein on the table. He's coming up. He was walking.
Wow.
And he's elected.
Yeah. We got to get a tape of their radio show sometime. Is what we got to do.
Man.
Well, I think they each got their own show.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be able to dig it up somewhere.
Probably
Believe me.
encounter each other
I
in
get
the
it.
hallway at the radio station.
All right.
How you doing, Sandy?
I haven't seen you in a while.
Are you still married?
Oh, man. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.